I am 18 years old. I'm wearing my cap and gown as a way to represent the education access we were demanding. We are marching the streets of Portland. 3 undocumented students and I are marching towards an ICE office. And as we march, I shout, "Undocumented, unafraid," while my dad's words echo inside of me. You are selfish for risking your arrest. The government is so much bigger than you. The system is bigger than you. What if they deport all of us? On May 1st, 2012, I made the conscious decision of fighting against fear. When I think about this memory, I imagine this little girl with a big armor and a lot of courage. This little girl was ready to fight the biggest monster, the deportation machine, ICE. As the 3 students and I walked towards the ICE office, 2 of my teachers lock arms with me and say, "Please don't do it." I smile at them, but I couldn't say anything. I knew I had to do it. I could no longer wait. I had to reclaim my dignity. The 3 other undocumented students and I were named the Fantastic Four of Portland because we took the streets, and in our regalia, we talked about our status. We talked about not having papers and the consequences that it came with it. We also called the attention of then President Obama. We demanded that he use his executive power to protect dreamers. I was tired of living in the shadows. I was tired of living without hope. So in front of more than 200 people, I said it. I screamed it, and I said it all. I said that I was undocumented, and at some point, I wasn't afraid anymore. For the first time, I talked and talked and talked, and I did not shut up. I said it all. I'm not a criminal. I just want to study. Don't you see? My community is hurting. Please stop the deportations. Please stop the separations. And please leave my family alone. After about 2 hours of blocking the streets with our banners and our bodies, the police surrounded us. Then came the horses, more trucks, the SWAT team, guns, and more guns. It took 4 police officers to arrest me. And when they finally came for me, they grabbed me by my arms and they put plastic handcuffs on me. And as we walked towards the police car, I continued to shout, "Undocumented, unafraid." The police put the 4 of us in a van, and through a very small window, I was able to see the faces of people worried about us, demanding the police to release us. Even though the Portland jail was a few blocks away, the police drove us around for what it felt like 30 minutes. During that time, I was very nervous and confused, but that did not stop me from singing songs of encouragement. When we finally arrived to a place that looked like a warehouse. When the doors of the van opened, I remember seeing about 20 police officers. They welcomed us with pizza and soda. "Help yourself," they said, as they began the process of writing a ticket as a way to give us a manazo, a slap on the hand, so that we would not do it again. Something felt weird and kind of special about our arrest. That's not how you arrest and treat my community members. I was furious because the picture of a neighbor being arrested in front of her daughters continued to flow through my mind. At that point, I wanted to get arrested. I was very curious to see how the system was set up for my community, because at that time, the Multnomah County Sheriff had signed a memorandum stating that he would not collaborate with ICE. Therefore, undocumented people with a low-class misdemeanor would not be referred to ICE to later be deported. I gave the police officer who was writing my ticket different identifying information. I gave her different names, different date of birth, until she got tired. She finally said, "That's it, you're going to jail." And yes, minutes later, I was in the police car on my way to jail. Cold concrete, humidity, and the heat on my body is all I could perceive once we arrived to jail. I remember that as we were walking towards jail, one of the police officers said, "Are you ready to be famous?" I was confused, and I didn't know what that meant. Once we arrived to the processing center of the jail, the camera of a TV show followed me. While one of the officers asked, "Please take your clothes off and hand them to me." The camera in front of my face recorded my humanity being taken away and my name being reduced to a number. Hours later, as I was waiting in the processing center to be assigned to my cell, a police officer called my name. I went to his desk, and he handed me a phone. When I grabbed the phone, a lady said a lot of things that I couldn't remember. I couldn't understand. I didn't really speak English. I remember hearing, "Papers, papers, papers. Do you have papers?" "I need to speak to a lawyer." That's all I said. And I hung up the phone. The next morning, a nice officer came up to me. And as he approached me, he said, "What are you doing here? You should be out there making a difference." He then began asking me questions about the legal status of my family, about my brothers and my parents. He began writing my deportation order while asking questions about my border crossing. "Who are they?" he asked me while pointing at a picture of my family in the screen of his computer. "Not them. Please, leave them alone. Don't deport them." I went back to the waiting room, waiting to be assigned to my cell. Finally, after spending the night on my cap and gown, I was assigned to my cell. And as I was escorted to my cell, I heard the ICE agent shouting my name, "Hey, you're gonna be out soon." And yes, hours later, the charges were dropped and I was released. I was released with my belongings in a plastic bag, in shock and very hungry. 1 month later, the day of my graduation from community college, I woke up to my phone ringing and ringing without a stop. It was my community college advisor. "Hey, are you excited? How do you feel about it? Are you gonna apply?" After hanging the phone, I turned on the TV and watched then President Obama introducing Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or better known as DACA. I was confused because I didn't know what that meant for me. Did our action contribute towards this change? I don't know, but I know I did the right thing because just like my ancestors, I got my machete and I set to work. And that's when I realized that the spirit of that little girl with a huge armor and a lot of courage helped me regain my dignity. And eventually, I got inspired to create Esperanza Wellness Center, a space where I provide counseling services in Spanish to undocumented people. To the US government, I am still undocumented. But for me, I consider myself the daughter of Mother Earth. And that does not require documents or any proof. My goal is to continue to travel the world, even if I don't have a passport.